welcome to another video by Scrapbook Centrale. Today we're going to play with glitter and embossing folders and shimmer sheets. This technique consists of taking one shimmer sheets, embossing it, and using this to create beautiful embellishments. And we're going to create 3 embellishments with one shimmer sheet embossed piece. So I'm going to call this technique the 3-in-1 emboss shimmer. So let me show you what you're going to need for the technique. You're going to use qu'un tape. An embossing folder. Today I'm going to be using a reversible embossing folder by Spellbinders that is called Mystic. You'll need a piece of shimmer sheets that measures 2 by 5, as well as 2 pieces of cardstock that measure 5.5 by 2.5, a brayer, some microfine glitter, a pair of scissors, or an X-Acto knife. You'll also need your die cutting system. I've already embossed my piece of shimmer sheets using my embossing folder by following the directions on the back side of the packaging, and I'm going to set this aside for now. The next thing you want to do is you want to take your 2.5 by 5.5 piece of cardstock and place it right over the exposed adhesive of your qu'un tape, like so, and cut around it either with an X-Acto knife or with a pair of scissors. I'm just going to go ahead and use my X-Acto knife. Like this, and I'm just trimming around the edges to remove the excess. So now that our piece of cardstock is covered with our adhesive, we're going to remove the liner tape so that we can expose this side of the adhesive, like so. Try not to touch it too much with your fingers. And I'm going to take my embossed piece of shimmer sheets and lay this down onto the sticky side of my cardstock, centering it. It doesn't really matter at this point which side you're going to use because we will be using both. And just lay this over my piece like so in the center. And now we're going to brayer. We're just going to remove this piece here, and what you'll see here is some of the foil from our piece is transferred onto our adhesive, and that's the cool thing about it, because when we're going to add our glitter over that, where there's foil, the glitter will not stick to it, and this is going to reveal the beautiful design. Don't throw this piece because we're going to need it for the next embellishment. So I put a piece of copy paper or scrap paper underneath my piece, and I'm going to sprinkle my glitter all over this piece. Make sure I've got good coverage, and I'll shake off the excess. And this is what it looks like. Check how cool that is. So now all we need to do is burnish this piece, and we've got a beautiful embellishment for our card. And there's a beautiful piece all burnished. Look how pretty that is. So now we're going to do the reverse of this, meaning that we're going to use the other side to repeat the same process. So I'm going to go ahead and prep my pieces, and I'll come right back. Alright, so once again I have my piece of cardstock with the adhesive exposed, and as you can see, this is the side that we used. So where you see white areas, this is where the shimmer sheets got stuck onto the adhesive. Now we're going to reverse the process. We're going to use this side here, which will be the embossed side, and I'm going to again center that over my piece of cardstock and brayer. Try to get a good impression. All right, and now we're going to reveal our pattern. And look at this. It gives us another look. I'm going to bring back my scrap piece of paper again, and I'm going to glitter all over that. Tap off the excess, and look at this. How pretty is that? So we're going to go ahead and burnish this, and I'll show you what it looks like. So you've just created 3 beautiful embellishments that you can use to put on a card. And I'll put a card together just to show you what it looks like. Alright, so to complete my card, I'm going to need my card base, which measures 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. And I'm going to need 2 separate pieces of cardstock. It measures 2 1/2 by 3 3/4. And this one measures 2 5/8 by 3 7/8. We're going to be using these peel-off decorative borders. And these are number 1167 by Star Form in black, and we're also going to be using these other peel-offs by Elizabeth Crafts, and it is number ECD 2516, also in the black. And what we'll do is we'll use the negative of this beautiful urn, and of course we're going to need our transfer sheet. So I'm going to go right ahead and work on my transfer sheet. Now, if you remember in a previous video, I showed you how to do this. So we're actually going to cut around that shape because I don't want to risk lifting the others. And I'm going to expose the sticky back of my transfer sheet and cover my whole piece. So I'll go ahead and burnish that, and then I'll just remove the pieces that I want. And what I'll end up doing is actually putting back the outline onto my peel-off sheet. So I've transferred my image, the whole image, onto my transfer sheet. Now I'm just going to get rid of the outline because I don't want that on my particular design, and I'm just going to remove that very gently, and I'm just going to put that back onto the original sheet, and you can keep this for another project. So now we're going to work on our negative pieces, which look like that on the transfer tape. I'm just going to turn this over. So I'm just going to place this over my cardstock. I'm going to take my bone folder and rub over it. And I'm just going to lift my transfer sheet really gently like that. And if I did my job correctly, everything will stick to my cardstock. Beautiful. I'm just going to mat this onto my cardstock. Grab my border sheet. And I think I'm going to be using this border here in the middle. I'm just going to place that on my white cardstock like this. We will trim that end here. I think I'll be putting another one right across here just to add interest to my centerpiece. And the last thing I need to do is to pop this right over my card with foam adhesives. There we go. I love this card. I think it's really elegant, from the beautiful peel-off negative image to the embossed background. I think it's pretty. And I still have 2 more beautiful pieces that I can use on other cards. This was a lot of fun to make. With the 2 other pieces that I had, I made this card here, which is using the piece of Shimmer Sheetz. I added some borders. The inside image is the actual positive, or the outline of this peel-off that I laid over a piece of sequin tape backed by a cardstock. I sprinkled some cool highlights, glitter all over it, and then I burnished it and then colored in with my Copics. With the other embossed shimmer paper, I was able to create this very simple card, and I used some small leaves that I took from that sheet of peel-off. So I hope you've enjoyed this tutorial as usual. Thank you for watching. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments below, and I will see you next week. Bye bye.